Hello, how's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And one more time, welcome after yesterday's another, I'm not gonna lie, but very shambolic and quite poor performance where we somehow still managed to scrape a win with a lucky goal. Today, we take on some reviews of that game. We're gonna talk about that. Of course, Arsenal. Calafiori, yes, they got injured. So Arsenal are hitting an injury crisis in a position on the field where nobody's gonna deny it. We had the most depth, let's be real. It was defensive positions, but at the moment it looks like we are screwed in every single position almost. And we have to play makeshift teams with players that are not the main ones, and our backup options which we are using are not as good, obviously nowhere near in certain levels as our main guys. So it is a very, very, very poor thing. So we're definitely gonna talk about that. And we're gonna of course talk about the bold statement Arteta made last night, and if he doesn't deliver, it could get ropey. The performances have been very questionable, and slowly but steadily the results are catching up with performances. Poor performances, poor results, and the questionable results, let's be real. And there is no argument that we need a striker. We need an out-and-out striker, of course. And we're gonna talk about some Conman music, of course. Arteta's after-game press conference, we're gonna talk about that, see how it goes, we'll see what he said, because I haven't read it still, so it will be a quite raw reaction in that regard. So hopefully you are ready, you are excited, you are here, and if you're new around here, of course, don't forget smash thumbs up, don't forget subscribe, hit that bell, all those good things. Don't forget getting live interactive in the chat, and if you're watching this as a playback, of course, don't be afraid, leave a comment down below, of course. And we're kicking things off with the thing that nobody wanted to see, but somehow happened yesterday. Riccardo Calafiori went off injured. He initiated physical contact on certain occasions, and he got done over on all the occasions. And in one of those occasions, he had a very nasty landing. He slipped, he stretched, and he did his... I'm not sure whether it's an ankle, whether it's knee, I'm kind of not sure. He tried, apparently it's a knee issue, a potential one. He tried to keep on playing, but he couldn't. So we subbed on Skelly, well, eventually. And once he took his earrings out, as weird as it sounds, of course. But yeah, Skelly came on, but another injury added to Arsenal's list. It's bad enough already, and it's very, very poor that our two main guys in Odegaard and Saka are injured. And apparently there are rumors that Saka might be playing against Liverpool. We don't know that for sure, but definitely Odegaard is not apparently, but Saka is still under question marks. But our defensive line for a game against Liverpool, arguably one of the most important games after, well, the most important game you could say, after the City game in Premier League, we have to play basically with almost a B team. Obviously, because the main guys who should be there are not there, about 5-6 of them, which already have the squad. Obviously, we cannot use those as excuses, because last year we lost to Jurgen Klopp's under 20s pretty much when we in the cups and everything. So there are times where things could happen in our way, of course, but our performances don't convince me whatsoever at the moment that we could get the job done. Genuinely don't convince me. The biggest reason why we didn't concede pretty much against Shakhtar was not our defense that they were good. It's just Shakhtar cannot score. It's been their issue throughout the whole season, because even Shakhtar fans said are admitting themselves they can create, they create chances, they just cannot finish. Genuinely, they cannot finish. And they are not even first as they used to be consistently in the Ukrainian league. They're struggling quite a bit, and it shows. It shows they couldn't score because they had chances to score. Probably should have scored, you could argue. David Raya with an excellent save towards the end part of the second half, which could have made it 1-1. So it is a bit of a nasty one. Very poor performance in my opinion. And it's now a reoccurring theme that is very, very giving some certain very uneasy vibes. Because if we lose on Sunday, we are 7 points behind Liverpool. And then it could get quite ropey, quite dicey for Arsenal. It could be a bit of a panic. Wheels could actually slowly starting to fall off. And then it's definitely not be a great sight. Definitely won't be a great sight. Obviously, of course, Liverpool have had a great start, incredible start this season. I would assume nobody expected it. But they have the similar issue like Arsenal. if their main guys get injured, they don't have a proper replacements in those. So we will see how they avoid those or not. But it is quite ropey for them as well at the moment. Man City, on the other hand, the third team that's at the moment you could say are the top three favorites, also are not demonstrating very good football. They're very questionable defensively. They can get overwhelmed at sometimes. The thing is though, no matter how much they struggle, they get the job done. And it doesn't matter if it's 90 plus 5, 90 plus 6 or whatever. They score a goal and they get their desired point, desired 3 points or whatever. And that at the moment is the biggest difference. It doesn't matter they are 11 men or what, they get it over the line. And Arsenal just cannot do it basically at the moment. And that is one of the biggest issues. And yeah, and here it is as well. It's confirmed pretty much that Calafiori, who limped off with a knee injury against Shakhtar, is out for Liverpool game, while medics will make a late call on Jurrien Timber's fitness for the game due to muscular injury. The biggest thing about Timber is I really hope these medics, just because we need a defender back, don't rush him back. That is my only hope. Because if we rush him back, if we take a risk and it doesn't pay off, that injury could even get extended for insane amount of time, for the incredibly long time, and it could cost us even more than it already is costing us. So that for me is the biggest thing. And that is the big worry, because there were also reports, according to Sam Seif, that I don't know how credible he is, but he's saying that he understands that Bukayo Saka is expected to be available for the upcoming game against Liverpool, having trained pending any last-minute changes. Or meanwhile, Ricardo Calafiori is set to undergo crucial scans for scheduled for today, of course. Saka is set for Liverpool clash, bearing late change, while Calafiori awaits crucial scan results. So Calafiori has done his scans. We are just waiting for the results. But allegedly, I'm sorry, my nose is hella itchy and I don't know why. But apparently Saka could be available. But this is the worrying bit in all of these things. Remember how we go in transfer markets during these years over in the transfer window, and we just, well, let's be real. Feels like only sign goalkeepers and only sign defenders, on occasion a midfielder, but never sign forwards. And we've been screaming on Arteta to sign a striker, to sign a backup for Saka, backup for Odegaard, and proper midfielders, right? And here is the thing. We have bought so many defenders that for me, personally, as an Arsenal fan, I went into this season thinking, okay, cool, we have defensive coverage. We have so many defenders that in case someone gets injured, we have cover for them. Obviously, covering maybe left back, right back spot is a bit easier for us than center back spots, because at center back we have Gabriel and Saliba, who are, in my opinion, the two specialists in position. Rest of the defenders can play all across the back line, so they are kind of multitasking. But overall, that was the case. Now, we are 8 games into the season, and it's already looking quite dicey, I'm not gonna lie, because Calafiori has a knock, so there's a chance he's not gonna play. Saliba is suspended, Tomiyasu, Timber, and Tierney is out. So that's 5 out of our, 9 defenders that are out. We don't have rotational options on defense. We have White, Kivior, Gabriel, and you could say Zinchenko. We don't have any other defenders. So for me, the position that arguably was the most solid and the most stable one in terms of depth at the moment is the one that is the most shaky one. Because our midfield, Merino, Rice, Partey, Jorginho, they're all there. They genuinely are all there. Yes, Merino was injured in the early stages, but none of them are injured. Partey also has avoided injuries, thankfully. They're all there. So the biggest issue is we didn't have coverage for attack, and it shows. Because replacing Odegaard already is a very tough task, and we have tried to do it, and we have dealt with it somewhat decently in certain games. But long term, it doesn't feel too sustainable, obviously. And it's a very worrying sign. Same thing for backup for Bukayo Saka. We've been screaming for him that sooner or later, it's gonna happen. He's gonna get injured. And we need a proper backup. And it's been like that for about 2-3 years now, in a row. And we still haven't gotten him. And we are trying to play Jesus there, Sterling there. I think in one of the first games of the season, even Martinelli played there on certain instance. So we have tried to replace them, and again we have seen that it is almost not possible. So basically what this means, we have gotten injured in positions where we have no cover, pretty much, in terms of Odegaard as number 10 and Saka as a right wing. And we have gotten incredible amount of injuries, to be honest, or suspensions, let's be real, in a position which was the most solid for us in terms of depth, in terms of availability, and in terms of these instances. Obviously, you could argue Tomiyasu injury prone, Tierney injury prone, and stuff like that. But overall, defense was the one part of the team where you would sit there, look at our defenders, and think, we're good there. Someone gets injured, we have someone to replace them. But now, we are pretty much in injury crisis. Because we are sitting here, looking at the injury list, and about 80 to 90% of these players are defenders. So that means we will have to play an incredible makeshift type of defense, which pretty much has not played any game together. They will only train together, which again will now leave us very, very vulnerable. And at this time when we are playing Liverpool, right? If we look at Premier League table, right? Here it is, Premier League table. You cannot see this even. This is matches. Okay. Why is this like this? I hate this. Okay. Where is a proper table? Can we see it here? There we go. Should be good enough. Should be good enough. Yeah, as you can see here, Liverpool have lost only one game, which was like a odd loss, not gonna lie, at home to Nottingham Forest. But Liverpool have conceded only 3 goals and they have scored 15. Which already means that they don't concede much. Their defense is in a very high roll with all the players they're playing. Arne Slot has made them more solid defensively. And that is something that is the biggest difference between Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp was kind of rock and roll type of attack. But Liverpool still play that type of football. Just they pay a bit more attention to defense, and it's more in order. He has put the defense in the right shapes, in the right places, and then with the right coverages. So also Gravenberch has come out. It feels like out of nowhere and is doing a phenomenal job. So Liverpool at the moment are on a high roll. So this will be very, very interesting to see how this game goes, because obviously Arsenal have a very good record against Liverpool at home. Yet at the same time, the way Arsenal are at the moment, it's not looking good. Let's be real. We have an injury crisis. Our performances have no indication that we actually could get the job done against Liverpool. Yes, this might sound a bit pessimistic, but I'm kind of realistic about this. Because think about this. It doesn't matter we play Kivior at left back, we play Zinchenko at left back, God forbid we play Lewis Kelly at left back. He's gonna play against Salah. And that's already making me scared. Luis Diaz most likely be on the other side. The way Jurrien Timber is getting cooked at the moment also doesn't fill me with confidence. What's gonna happen there? It doesn't. Even if Thomas Partey plays right back, he is slow as a snail. And imagine him against Luis Diaz. Like, it just... They have dangerous attacks from all places of the pitch pretty much. And our defense at the moment, the one we more than likely could be putting out, just doesn't fill me with confidence that we can stop them. And our attack doesn't fare much better. Our attack, yes, we can create on certain occasions, but we cannot even get a shot on target properly. Because if we look, Arsenal versus Shakhtar, right? If we look at these game stats, it's nothing brilliant, because we had 13 shots, 5 on target. It was against Shakhtar. Against Shakhtar, who basically can't do anything. Yet we scored a goal, then we gave them the ball, and that's why they have such high possession. But look, they had 9 shots, 1 on target. Raya made a brilliant save, and we scored 1 lucky goal, which actually wasn't even shot on target, because hitting a post doesn't count as shot on target. We hit the post, the ball hit the goalkeeper's back, and it basically trickled into the net. That was it. If that doesn't go in, not sure we actually gonna score. Because throughout the whole game, yes, we create these half chances. They had some brilliant clearances on the Havertz header and everything. But overall, we just never gave me this confidence that we could actually score. Because I generally don't believe that with the team we put out, Arsenal should be going out there and thinking, yes, 1-0 is a good result. That's what we came here for, especially at home. So that is a very, very worrying sign, defensively and offensively for Arsenal. And the fact that we're going to play against Liverpool doesn't fill me with confidence whatsoever. And the fact that so many players are out injured, with potential maybe of Bukayo Saka only being back, maybe Timber if you push your luck, and the Calafiori maybe if the scans come back negative and he's ready to play. Those all three are big ifs we have to at the moment depend upon, just in order to have actually somewhat chance against Liverpool. And that is a big, big issue. And this, obviously, at the end of the day, it all falls on Arteta and Edu. Because during all these transfer windows and everything, we had more than enough chances to find a proper backup for Saka, proper backup for Odegaard, proper players in proper positions, but we never did that. We have this so-called fixed bench, but this fixed bench on the pitch when they play, they look like, I don't know, like League One side pretty much. Jesus, I don't know what he's doing there. Players are very scared to shoot. There is no connection between the players. It's like they don't train together whatsoever during the games, during training sessions as well. It sometimes feels that way because the pass is where one of the players is aiming the pass. It feels like he doesn't know what the player is going to do whatsoever. Is he going to make a run? Is he going to cut back? What's he going to do? Because they always do the straight opposite. And it all ends up in losing possession in the midfield, which results into a counter. It ends us in losing possession, ball going out for a throw-in. It is at the moment very ropey and very dicey for Arsenal. I'm trying to stay as calm as possible, but at the moment, I am slowly boiling inside. And if we lose to Liverpool, it could boil over. I'm not gonna lie, it could boil over. Because as much as I, for example, think that Arteta is not the man for the job, I kind of have to make amends with the fact that he's staying. Because Kroenkes love him. But that doesn't mean I don't want him out. That doesn't mean I don't believe we're gonna win anything with Arteta. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna support Arsenal every game week, every game that we play. That is the big thing. But at the moment, the way we are looking, it's not looking great. Genuinely, it's not looking great. Big up BX Gunner in the chat. Big up, bro. Big up, big up. How you doing, man? How are you doing? Like what you saw yesterday against Shakhtar. Against goddamn Shakhtar. That was insane. But yeah, our injury situation is genuinely scary as hell. I don't even know. To be honest, the players that are injured as well are some of our main guys like Timba, Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, Calafiori. So half of our team is basically out because they're our main guys. That is what's even worse, and we don't have proper backups for them. That's what is making this all very scary and very, very annoying for Arsenal in this regard as an Arsenal fan for sure. And then at the end, we had this. We had Arteta coming out and saying this. Ahead of the game against Liverpool yesterday after the game, he said, "Believe me, on Sunday we will be flying. Trust me on that." And this is where it kind of starts to piss me off. Because in the last to be honest, throughout the whole season, this season, maybe minus the PSG game, and to some level also Man City game, we haven't been good. We had very subpar, dreadful performances. And Mikel Arteta comes and says, trust we will be flying on Sunday, where 5 out of 11 our main guys are injured. We don't know even if one of them is gonna play. Our performances have been quite dreadful. And we never look like we're gonna score. We can create, but we cannot finish. Or we don't shoot at the goal. And we cannot even get sometimes shots on target. It took us how long to get some shots on target? It took us massive stroke of luck against Shakhtar to score a goal. Same happened against, against Southampton, against Leicester, against Bournemouth. It just went the wrong way. We basically got punched in the mouth first and we never recovered. This is very scary for me at the moment with Arsenal. Especially when Arteta starts to say that when he's gonna make a makeshift team where we at left back we might see Kivior or Zinchenko potentially, and they're gonna play against Mohamed Salah. On the right side, Luis Diaz against whoever. Unless it's Timba, I don't want to see anyone almost there. If Arteta again plays Partey at that right back, he's gonna get done over. White is gonna get done over. For me, the only option I can see for Arsenal is go to 5 at the back. Maybe to try and mask the deficiencies we at the moment have defensively, especially with Saliba, Timba, and other players being out. Is he willing to do that? I don't think so, especially since the game is at home. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Who knows? Genuinely, who bloody knows? But him saying that is very worrying. I missed the game yesterday through work, but we looked dead full last 2. Yeah, we have looked dreadful for the longest time. Game against Leicester, Southampton, Shakhtar, and even games before that. Yes, we have won it. The result just masked over the performance because most of these performances, they're just not sustainable long term. And against Bournemouth, it showed. It genuinely showed full stop. Liverpool and Inter will embarrass it. Yeah, exactly. Liverpool and Inter will embarrass us if we keep it up. Not to mention, we don't know how we're gonna look against Sporting Lisbon, for example. We have to go there as well. Against Gyökeres, by the way. We don't know what's gonna happen there. There are so many games where if we keep playing like this, we could get done over. It's actually scary. And you know all these titles, certain Arsenal fan part of Arsenal's fan base make Arsenal are scary, dangerous, scintillating, and all that stuff. Generally, put in extra word, and it's actually true. Arsenal are not scary. They're just scared at the moment. Because as an Arsenal fan, I am scared for the next month. Until the end of international break, November's international break, I am scared because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what team we're gonna put out, what Arteta is gonna do with all these injuries and with all these claims and all these situations. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm going into every game at the moment with hope that we actually don't lose and we should be winning. That depending on the team, obviously, but against Bournemouth it was a must-win game. We never looked like we're gonna win the game. We never looked like we're gonna score even against Bournemouth. Against Shakhtar, we were creating certain half chances, but per se it never resulted into a dangerous shot or anything. What was their goalkeeper's name? Rishkov or whatever. Rizhnik, yeah? He never made any insane saves. Just a lucky bounce off his back that went in. It is very scary to watch Arsenal and be an Arsenal fan at the moment. Because long term, this could end up not being a title race but a top 4 race. And if these injuries persist for an extended period of time, it might not only be a top 4 but top 6 race. Unless Edu, Kroenke and Arteta do something in January. Unless in January we go sign a striker, maybe a midfielder, backup for extra suck, and maybe 2 or 3 players. If we don't do that, it could get rough. It could get very ugly for Arsenal this season. Very ugly for Arsenal this season. Obviously, Arsenal are not appealing the Saliba red card because if they lose that appeal, the extension, the red card, 1 game match ban can get extended. They have the rights to do so. So maybe if you think about it, we play Preston, then it's not that bad. But if it gets extended from 1 to 3 games, then he misses also Newcastle. And then again, it's Peakham's for Arsenal. So it's not looking good. Some other news we talked about. I put this out. Arsenal are apparently interested potentially in Buemo from Brentford, which actually for me is actually a very good link. I wouldn't mind having Buemo at Arsenal. He's very direct, very quick, decent finishing, definitely can play a right wing. He can play also striker partially. He could definitely be a good cover, good player for Arsenal. Genuinely believe so. It's a question how much Brentford would ask for him. What else is there happening? Now, the good news, obviously, beside the fact that we cannot score, we are injured all over the place and everything, Arsenal actually, after last night's win, are now guaranteed a place in the Champions League knockout round, which is great. I'm not gonna lie, which is great, which means we are in Champions League. The thing is, though, the way our squad is, the depth our squad has, there is no chance in hell Arsenal should be targeting just finishing to have those extra 2 games you have to play in the round of 16. There should not be the case. Arsenal should be aiming for top 8 and then just go from there. Arsenal must finish in top 8 because I know it seems like only 2 games, but it's a home game between, maybe depending on the schedule, maybe in a very rough time. It's an extra away game, and God knows who you're gonna get. You might have a long flight to somewhere, you might have a near flight, you never know. Might be an easy team, might be a harder team, but it's still extra 2 games you have to play. So, or 1 game even, I actually don't know at the moment. But yeah, the aim is to finish top 8. I don't want to see anything else. We need to get top 8 at the moment. I know we have injuries and everything, but what is our schedule looking like, by the way? Arsenal's matches. What is our schedule saying at the moment? We are playing against Liverpool, then we have Preston, then we have Newcastle. You probably don't see this, right? Yeah. Then we have Inter. Then we have Chelsea, and then we have international break. So we have very rough games. We have Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, Inter away, and Chelsea away. And in between all of this, there's Preston away. So we have very hell matches waiting for us. Very insane amount of matches waiting for us, which already is starting to make me scared. In other news, some positive light, as I much hope this is true, I really hope this could be true. Arsenal have reportedly registered interest in signing striker John Duran from Aston Villa. And this is the key part. This winter, which sounds like fantastic news, I'm not gonna lie. I think Duran has proven himself that he can do it in Premier League. He can do it in Aston Villa as well. The biggest question mark for me is the fact that we know Unai Emery, right, as Arsenal fans. And if you watch Unai Emery even at Sevilla, Villarreal, wherever you watched him, he knows how to coach and manage strikers, how to make them look good, how to make them bag goals. Obviously, we have Golden Boot winning Aubameyang, Lacazette even was firing and all that stuff. The question is Duran actually the answer for all of this, for our attack, or is he looking this good mostly because Unai Emery is making him look good? Because as we all know, Unai Emery also was before he got sacked, was trying to coach Martinelli to be a striker as well. So the biggest question is Duran actually good and he could fit in any team and be a proper striker? Or is actually Unai Emery making him look this good with his tactics, with his ideas, and the way he's developing strikers specifically? Because we haven't seen actually Mikel Arteta coach out-and-out striker. Ever. He had Aubameyang, he binned him. He had Lacazette, he binned him. He signed Jesus, who obviously is not an out-and-out striker. He signed Havertz, who also is not an out-and-out striker. Because the only time he has City signed a striker, which was Haaland, was when we signed Jesus and Zinchenko from them. And at the time when Arteta was at City, they were using just wingers even at number 9s, players like Mahrez, like Grealish, and players like that they were using as their number 9s. They didn't have an out-and-out striker like Haaland. As soon as Arteta leaves, Pep signs a striker. So there's also the big question mark, can Mikel Arteta coach a striker? Because we haven't seen that. Lots of young strikers have left Arsenal, obviously in Balogun, Chidobe Martin. We don't know what's going to happen with Oyedeji. Nketiah, of course, has left and everything, so we genuinely don't know what is going on with that department as well. However, if Arsenal sign a striker, Gyökeres, Duran, players like that, I actually would be all for it. I definitely would not be against that. I'm telling you that now. I definitely would not be against that 100%. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? I think there is not. So, let's dig in. Mikel Arteta's post-Shakhtar game press conference. This could be very, very boring or very, very good. This is either or. He's gonna waffle or he's gonna do something very good. So, first question on getting the job done tonight. Well, I think there were two different halves. First one where we were very dominant. We created 4 big chances we should have scored with. Obviously, we should have, but you haven't signed the clinical players up top, and we had certain other chances to score and even shoot at the net, but our players somehow are very reluctant to shoot. This is something that also really pisses me off with Arsenal attack. Players many times have open lanes to goal to take a shot from outside the box, near edge of the box and stuff like that. They never do it. Even in the box, they have chances to shoot. They don't do it. They played the perfect goal. They still try to find a pass. It feels like they want to play an empty net goal. Sometimes just take a whack at it and see what happens. Genuinely. We should have converted them and put the game to bed with the amount of dominance we had. The second half very different. We looked tired. We lacked the sharpness with and without the ball, and to regain the ball in the right moments as well in the right areas, and giving certain balls away that allow certain transitions. And that is a big worry. The fact that Arteta here already is mentioning that in second half we looked tired, we lacked that sharpness, and we couldn't recover balls. This scares me for Liverpool. The way Liverpool are pressing, still the way they are playing very high energetic football, means that Arsenal could get genuinely just outworked. Simply as that, they could get just outworked from the game, and that would be it. That genuinely could be it, and that's what is scaring me at the moment as well. Because we don't have the depth to sub on certain players to refresh the squad, refresh the midfield properly, refresh the attack properly. Because even if we want to refresh the midfield, all of our midfield options we can refresh them with are snails. They're slow, they cannot run. And the thing you have to do against Liverpool, if you want to win, is to press and is to run as well. And we have very, very slow midfield. Merino feels like he's slower than Granit Xhaka. Partey feels like he hops on one leg across the pitch. Mind you, I'm giving Partey his flowers for the last 2 games. Arguably, he has been the best performer in the midfield department, for sure, for Arsenal. So, this is a very scary part. Especially if Arsenal they will get against Liverpool potentially even less chances than they will get against they have gotten recently. So if we cannot convert them, it could be curtains quite early. Mind you, Martinelli, he's one of the Liverpool for Martinelli is one of his clients, if that makes sense. He's that Liverpool is that team for Martinelli where he has accumulated the most points against from the big 6, and he tends to do good against them. So I have hopes that this goal that wasn't his, it was a deflected goal and all that stuff, lucky goal, but still Martinelli did it. In the last 3 weeks, Martinelli has looked better than he has looked in a very, very long time. And if he can build that confidence into Liverpool game, that would be very, very good for Arsenal in general, for our attack in general, because we need Martinelli at his best. We need Martinelli with his confidence and his energy. The one he used to have 2 seasons ago, when he generally felt unstoppable at times. We need that Martinelli back. And as soon as we get that Martinelli back, our attack will change drastically. Because I don't care. I was one of those people who said that we need a proper left back and a left 8 to open up Martinelli, right? Obviously, with Calafiori Timber playing there, you could see that Martinelli, for example, has more options and he has been more open in attack. There's no denying that. But at the same time, there shouldn't be the case that we should be genuinely just sitting here as Arsenal fans like idiots and waiting for Arsenal to sign specifically one position to open up one side. Martinelli should be able to do the job also on his own. Because we all know that our left back issue is one of the biggest issues we have had in a long time. Our left 8 issue also hasn't been addressed properly still, in my opinion. So Martinelli should be doing something on his own as well. And when he's left on his own, the thing is, when at least for the last year and a half, he's playing without confidence and he genuinely feels very poor. But in the last 3 weeks, in the last few games, he actually has started to pick up pace. Feels like he's starting to find some form at least. He always is asking for the ball. He's always trying to take defenders at least as much as he can on. And he's actually working, so that I'm giving to Martinelli. He's actually doing very well, and if he can build on that against Liverpool and do even better, phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie, that would be fantastic. Ben White and Calafiori. Ben was my decision to take him out. He had a yellow card. We have played enough with 10 men in certain periods. Let's be real. Yeah, 3 and 8 in Premier League. Not great in general. They had a lot of intensity on that side, a lot of attacking players on that on this side. We didn't want to take any chances. With Richie, it's something different. He felt something, I don't know the extent, so that's the sense. It's not great news. And that instantly is telling me that we could be screwed. It's not great news. That already is scaring me if Arteta says stuff like that. Because Arteta tends to be the guy who knows everything and he tends to talk in riddles, tries to mask certain aspects and everything. So I tend to kind of take some things with a grain of salt. But now if he's saying that pretty straightforward that it's not great news, it is a bit dodgy. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds a bit dodgy. On preparing the team to face Liverpool, well, we played 2.5 days ago after internationals, after flying from Brazil and many countries. I was expecting that we could drop off a little bit. Drop off a little bit. It felt like you fell off a goddamn cliff into Grand Canyon. And the fact that we put so much in the first half and didn't convert and get the distance in terms of the result and scoreline that far, I think we paid a little bit of that. And then we made life more difficult for us because obviously we started to give up the ball. Yeah, you said that. So again, the ball opened up, so it didn't help. But we have 4 days, and believe me, on Sunday we will be flying. So Mikel Arteta is admitting and saying that Arsenal will be flying. They will be on fire on Sunday. Basically, he is in a way saying expect goals, expect a win, expect points, and that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a win. Nothing less at the moment is good enough for me anymore. Because we have lost the game, we have drawn few games. It's already, for the first 10 games, it's already too much. I could live with one loss, maybe one draw and everything. But the fact that when you go up against City, especially City, every single draw even feels like a loss. City last year lost 3 games, got 7 draws. Arsenal lost 5 games, got 5 draws. So we got 2 more losses and 2 less. We got 2 more losses and 2 less draws. And those 2 draws, in a way, at the end of the table, were the difference. Arsenal obviously lost the league in the first part of the season, plus December, but we are not gonna get into that again. But yeah, in this instance, every single draw/loss is a loss for Arsenal. We need to get 3 points pretty much in every single game imaginable at the moment. Especially in the situation we are now, that if we lose, we are 7 points behind Liverpool. That could be already a bit too much to overcome. Because it just doesn't mean we are 7 points behind Liverpool. There's bigger chance than not that City will win. And we are already letting City run away with it slowly. Because we all know that City can catch anyone. We have seen it firsthand multiple times. We have seen it with Liverpool multiple times. And Arsenal could be another example. Can they chase them and can they catch them? Not sure. I don't think so, at least. But let's wait and see how this grows and how this develops, because quite a bit of stuff will be dependent on that as well. But Mikel Arteta is saying that we will be flying on Sunday, so that means we will be in excellent form, we will be free-flowing, energetic and live. Wouldn't count on it, let's just say that, based on recent performances. On whether this week will be a good time to prepare for the weekend. We'll review what we have to do. We have a day off and then 2 days to prepare the game and Sunday is far, and we are more than comfortable with that we will be in a great place. Well, good luck with that. On Martinelli's performance, he looked really sharp, he looked really fresher than anybody else on that pitch. To be honest, that is true, 100% true. You noticed that against Bournemouth, you could tell that was different. He had another gear, he added another level of threat. He started the game really well and he had great performance today. And to be honest, that is true. Martinelli was man of the match yesterday. 100% he was man of the match without shadow of a doubt. On the decision for Trossard to take the penalty, yes, they made that decision. The penalty taker normally is Bukayo Saka or Odegaard, and after that we have 2 or 3 players who can take it. They made a decision and unfortunately Leo missed it. But as you said, it's an opportunity missed. Now this for me is a big worry, big issue. Because let's be real. Our third best penalty taker, as controversial as it may sound, is Kai Havertz. He had a chance to beat Henry's record and all that stuff. Let's forget about it. Even if it wasn't in the mix, let's be real. In my opinion, the third best penalty taker after Saka and Odegaard is Kai Havertz, without shadow of a doubt. Then you can put Trossard. Why Trossard took the penalty is a very interesting one, because for me it should have been Havertz 100%. It feels like we are winging it sometimes with certain instances of the game. We are just seeing what happens and we are going as the crow flies, as they say. Because, yeah, to be honest, you could make an argument that after Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz is our second best. You could make that argument without shadow of a doubt. Yeah, to be honest, did you see yesterday that there were about 2 or 3 times where Kai Havertz was literally running and yelling at Jesus and at Trossard on certain instances to give him the ball, and they just lost the ball somewhere in their dribble, and Kai Havertz was getting very, very annoyed with them, very pissed on the pitch. And Kai Havertz usually doesn't get pissed with his teammates on the pitch, but you could see him throwing hands in there, saying something, being very, very annoyed. And Jesus was the captain yesterday. I think the captainship as well, it feels like it gets passed around like, well, you get what I mean. Like the local girl or something like that, like a bus station. It's like a bus, basically. You can ride it everywhere where you want and you can take a stop. It feels like captaincy as well. It's Odegaard, then it's Saka, and then it's like whatever happens, happens. Because how can you give Jesus captaincy if he just doesn't play whatsoever? Give a player who actually plays on the pitch, who can be a leader. Why Saliba wasn't the captain? Why Gabriel wasn't the captain, for example? You could give it even to goddamn Rice if you wanted to. But why it was on Jesus, I genuinely, that also was hella annoying. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Kai Havertz should be a bit selfish. Just wish he could score a bit more often. But yeah, that is the big thing. I think we are winging it. It should be in this case like we have corners on the right side. It's Saka, on the left side is Declan Rice. Obviously, if it subs or something, it changes mid-game, you change it. But you should have like a list of players in an order how they take penalties. For example, Saka, Odegaard, or Havertz, or Saka, Havertz, Odegaard, and stuff like that. Not when you generally, your 2 penalty takers are injured and you just say, oh, whatever, whoever wants it, you can take it. It shouldn't be the case. You should have designated strikers. You should have designated players to take these dead ball situations. You should have those. On Gabriel Jesus getting back to his best. He's not back to his best by a long shot. He's nowhere near to that. Very important because he can play in different positions and roles. His attitude again was exceptional. Very unlucky because he had 2 big chances that he could have converted into a goal. In many other areas he was good and we need everybody. Jesus was awful. To be honest, the amount of passes Jesus makes and he just misplaces them. Even it's like a straightforward pass and he still misplaces them. You could see Kai Havertz making a run in between defenders' backs, and Jesus passes it backwards, not into Kai Havertz where he's making the run, but where Havertz started the run from, and it instantly results in a counter. There are about 4 or 5 of those. He tried to cross the ball. 2-3 crosses just wasted straight to opponent for a counter. It was shocking. Sterling as well, it's just insane how bad he is. Because in my mind, Raheem Sterling, when I hear words Raheem Sterling, I think Manchester City Sterling. It's like my mind doesn't comprehend that for certain 2-3 years, he was at Chelsea where he got ruined basically in a way. Let's be real. So, it's a weird one. But Sterling was awful. Jesus was shocking. Same, to be honest, Jesus had chances to score, but again, he tried to dribble between like 10 defenders to play the perfect pass to empty net. Just take a shot sometimes. Just take the goddamn shot, huh? How about that? Sometimes take a goddamn shot. Same goes for Rice. Rice had, I think, chance or 2 to shoot. he had open lane. He just tries to take on defenders, passes it off backwards and everything. Just sometimes we should be able to be just a bit more selfish and think, screw them, screw everyone else, I'm taking a shot. Because you never know what's gonna happen. And as Michael Jordan used to say, you only miss the shots you don't take. And we take none of those, let's be real. We had 5 shots on target throughout the whole game. But overall, we should be, against Shakhtar, we should be having like 8 to 10 shots on target. We should be peppering them left, right and center, even with the injuries we have. But it looked like we barely knew how to kick a ball. Yes, we created some chances. Yes, Riznik or whatever his name was, the goalkeeper, made some saves. But overall, if that ball doesn't go into the net, the one that after Martinelli's shot hits the post, hits the goalkeeper's back and goes into the net, it never felt like we're gonna score. Because they cleared it off the near the line once. Riznik made one save. Besides that, yeah, that's it. Generally, that's it, it feels like. It was a very boring, dreadful game where, again, we couldn't create and it nearly cost us. We just got lucky it didn't cost us this time. On the importance of qualifying from the Champions League as early as possible, that would be great, but at the moment very difficult to look at the back because tomorrow it will change the amount of games, different opponents that we are playing, but Champions League, a win at home. In this format especially is key, keeping the clean sheet as you said. The amount of injuries we are dealing, the situation we are dealing, happy, and let's move on. But yeah, you'll get 3 points, move on, shut up and forget the game. Obviously you have to learn from this performance, but just as quickly as possible put it off your mind. Because if you dwell on it, it's gonna be done over. However, only good news, in Champions League, 3 games, 3 clean sheets. So that is actually quite positive in that regard. The issue is, we have the best game we have had this season has been against PSG. When we won 2-0, didn't even give them a sniff of a chance pretty much. That has been our best game this season. Second best game, I would say, surely for the defensive performance in general and stuff like that, game against Man City. Rest of the games, no thanks, just dreadful, awful and very questionable results. That's at least how I see things. It is actually quite annoying and quite scary in that regard. Yeah, Jesus and Sterling were woeful. They were shocking, to say the least. But yeah, anything else? Oh yeah, I wish we could have tried and signed Conceição. 33 million euros, that's about what, 28 million pounds for Conceição. That's arguably a steal and a half. Obviously Arsenal want to extend the Emirates, which already sounds very annoying and very scary, so we'll see how that goes. Anything else on Arsenal news front? Arsenal could rely more on academy players if depth issue continues. How comes Vanjeri doesn't get game time, by the way? How comes Vanjeri doesn't get any game time? What has happened to him? What has happened to him? How comes Vanjeri doesn't get any game time? Skelly played, with his earrings and everything, man. Fashion model, goddamn. But yeah, Vanjeri hasn't got a kick of a ball pretty much whatsoever. He got fed to the Lions against Bournemouth for 10 minutes. Like, is he gonna start a game this season? Like in Premier League, actually. I'm not talking about Carabao Cup where we have to play against Boltons and Preston North Ends or, I don't know, Leyton Orient and there's a Northeast Westchester side, a non-league team. Because at the moment, if I'm Vanjeri, I'm looking at this and I'm slowly starting to think, I'm never gonna get a chance here. I'm never gonna start in front of Odegaard, let's be real. At left 8, that's not my position. Maybe at right wing, but again, there's Bukayo Saka. As a backup, I don't want to be a backup my whole life. Chidobe Martin already left. Last summer, they let go of 20 youngsters. They let go on Balgan. He didn't even kick a ball for Arsenal. Oyedeji is potentially moving to Bundesliga. Hutchinson left for nothing pretty much. They let him go. Biereth also got sold. Never got a kick for Arsenal's main squad. You know what? I might just not resign and go somewhere where people appreciate me pretty much. Borussia Dortmund or somewhere else. It could happen if this keeps up. The way Arteta is mistreating him in a way, it's something that doesn't get spoken enough in my opinion. I can see Ranieri not signing a deal if he's not playing. Exactly. The only way you can sell him is that he's gonna get loaned out. Again, but the thing is here, you loan him out. Who's gonna play? Because we don't have players. You sold Emil Smith-Rowe. You loaned out Fabio Vieira, who is injured and holding bench at Porto, by the way, who is not even playing for Porto. So, what's the deal here? What are we doing here, actually? Like, what is Mikel Arteta's plan here? Like, genuinely, what is his plan with him here? Because it's all fine and dandy if he says, "Oh, I'm gonna give him time. He's gonna get time." He promised that to Emil Smith-Rowe. He played one game, got man of the match. Then in the next 10 games, played cumulative 100 minutes, and that's it. Never saw the pitch again. Nelson as well promised big role, got re-signed for 100 grand, didn't do anything. Like, Arteta in a way is deceiving people. Let's just say that, not to say that he's a liar, but he's deceiving people. Anyways, in Champions League at the moment, Atalanta versus Celtic is a 0-0. That is something interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Although Atalanta has 65% possession, 11 shots, 4 on target, so I would expect that someone inevitably will score. Brest against Bayer Leverkusen is 1-1. Wirtz scored in 24, 39th Lemelu scored, and besides that, nothing special has happened. Interesting. I think the biggest issue for Bayer Leverkusen in their team is their goalkeeper, isn't it? Because they have Kovar in goal, who is absolutely shocking. They have Hradecki, who is like 50 years old. Lomba also isn't the youngest, so the biggest issue I think for Bayer Leverkusen is the goalkeeper, because defensively they have decent backline. Midfield is decent, attacking parts, wingers are decent, striker department also is decent. The biggest issue for them is their defense. Their goalkeeper, sorry. If Ranieri was at a smaller club, he'd be starting as under. To be honest, yeah. Generally, if Ranieri was at Sunderland, he would be their Jude Bellingham, Job Bellingham. He would be starting every game. He would be one of their main guys, and he would be written about almost in every single newspaper. 100%. Is the fact that he's at Arsenal, and it looks like there isn't a chance on earth that he's gonna play. Because what is Arteta doing even here? Because Arsenal wouldn't even have Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe if Emery didn't call them up and didn't start using them. You can look at it that way as well. So we might never discover them, because there isn't a youngster since Arteta has taken over who is playing consistently for Arsenal, which he has called up, promoted, and is using on consistent basis. All of them have either not re-signed and left somewhere else, or they just not here, or he's not using them. Like, it's weird. It's weird, and I'm not sure what Mikel Arteta is doing in that regard. Genuinely, it's more mystery than reality. Elfsborg, Galatasaray won 4-3 against Elfsborg. Wow, that is nuts. Bodo Glimt against Braga 2-1. Interesting. We have good games today, by the way. Very good games today. Big up, coach. If we play Ranieri and we lose and he's stinker, then what? He's not ready. That's it. The thing is, he needs to play to know if he has a stinker or not. Because he has had these 10-15 minute cameos here or there. And in every of these cameos, he's been fantastic. Let's be real. He's been the spark that has ignited, that has created something that's been generally like a jolt of life into the team instantly. Like a firecracker. He has had that. But we have, besides Bolton, he hasn't played in any of the games. Southampton at home was the perfect time to start. What did he do? Nothing. Didn't even get subbed on. He just doesn't get anything. Exactly, he has shown he's ready to play. Just give him the goddamn time to play. Give him the time. You're watching Barca versus Bayern? I think I can watch all these games at the same time. I have that option, by the way. Just flexing a bit, let's just say that. But I'm definitely gonna watch the Leipzig-Liverpool game. I want to see what 11 Slot puts out. and how they look. Lineups are out or not? Kelleher, Arnold, Gakpo, Gravenberch, Konate, McAllister, Nunez, Salah, Szoboszlai, Tsimikas, Van Dijk. So pretty much nearly the same 11 that's gonna play against us on Sunday. There's a big possibility, by the looks of things. It's different coming off the bench as he... Exactly. That's the thing. That's why I want him to start. Because I am one of those Arsenal fans who are saying, give him a chance. Let him start. We want to see what is what. If he's ready, he will show you that he's ready. Because based on the some performances he's made, he looks already and ready to light the world on fire. If he will be ready, and if he starts, he will show you that. If he's not, well, he's not. He needs time, maybe he needs a loan or something else. We will know. There is no point of him sitting on the bench, getting marinated, game after game, and basically just there and watching the ball just go across the pitch all the time like that. And when we score, then yay, and when we concede, and that's it. There's no point in that. You either give him time or loan him out or what. That just give him a chance, just to prove himself, just to show that if he's ready or not. Because it will go either one or two ways. He will be ready or he will be not. Just give the option to us to find out. That's it. That's all at least I am asking for. Give him a chance, the old Arsenal, by giving a young guns a chance. But if we lose, you'll blame Arteta and we'll... Well, no, that's the thing. If we lose, I will blame Arteta, but I won't blame Arteta. Depends on the game, obviously. If he starts him against Liverpool, then Arteta is a dumbass moron and he needs to get sacked on the spot. Let's be real. But he should have started against Southampton. Let's be real. I would have started Manieri against Southampton. I wanted to see what is what. We could have started Manieri against Bournemouth. He should have started that game. We would have had more options and everything. Yeah, definitely. See, don't start Manieri against Liverpool. But it's not going to be on Arteta. It's just if he picks the right game, when to start Manieri in the big games in Premier League or whatever. Or even Champions League. For example, against Dinamo Zagreb, which we have at home at a certain point. He has had two games where he could have started Ethan Manieri. Leicester and Southampton at home. He had those two games, in my opinion, where he could have started Manieri. Where he had the chance. Now, he doesn't have those chances. Genuinely, he doesn't have. Because all those games will be away. We won't have those chances. What is this Premier League schedule? What is Arsenal's Premier League schedule saying here? Right? Premier League schedule Arsenal, right? I guess he couldn't think more than... To be honest, Trossard needs to be played more down the middle. Off the bench, he is the most effective. For me, either you play him off the bench or you try him as a 10. That's it. Because his best game arguably was against PSG as a 10. With Trossard at 10, we actually somewhat can cope without feeling the fact that we are missing Odegaard. Besides that, it's kind of useless. But you want to tell me that if we start Manieri, let's just say against Southampton, against... Leicester and teams like that, you want to tell me that he would be doing worse than Raheem Sterling, than Gabriel Jesus. Jesus and Manieri both started against Bolton, and guess who had the shittiest game? Who was one of the worst performances throughout the whole game? It was Gabriel Jesus. Manieri actually scored in that game, didn't he? Like, it's actually wild. Skelly getting more games in a harder position as defender. If you make a mistake, you're doomed. At least Manieri will front mistake. Exactly. Manieri can play from the right. He can play in the midfield. He actually doesn't lose the ball also that much. He has very nice dribbling. He has very good pace and ball carrying skills to come with that dribbling. So when he gets tackled, more chances than not, he will get fouled as well. He has decent shot on him. Maybe vision and passing needs a bit of work, but he has that. He has decent pace. He can press. Strength is a bit lacking, okay, but he's only 17, let's be real. But overall, there's no chance in hell that he would look worse than Jesus or Sterling in the team as a starter. No chance in hell. Those two are washed and need to get sold in January to Saudi or whatever. or terminate Sterling's contract or something, if that would be a thing. Skelly, that's the thing, Skelly is getting more games as a left back / right back most of the time. But that comes with the fact that we have that our injuries are genuinely insane. Do I have this picture still here or not? Because the injuries we have, I think it was on Talksport. The injuries we have, right? Where is it? No. I think it was on Talksport. Don't get me wrong. It could be not. It could be. Yeah, here it is. This is our injuries. These are our injuries. If you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders, and ironically enough, 4 of those 5 that are not available for Liverpool game are our left backs / right backs. So it's kind of, Arteta is forced to a certain extent to play Skelly there as well. He's kind of forcing his hand. At the same time, he could be forced his hand to play Vanjeri as well. What's going in with Kieran? I think Kieran is just either injured or exiled from the team until he gets moved on. I generally think he has gotten a veto, exiled from the team. He can come in for Kala, but gets the glass foot acting. That's the thing. Tierney hasn't played since Euros. So basically 4.5 months nearly. He cannot step in right away. He needs to get eased into the team. And at the moment, by the time he would get eased into the team, it would be January transfer window. So there is no point in that. Let's be real. So I guess it is what it is. He has played. Hasn't he played for... That was last season. Kieran Tierney at the moment is at Arsenal. The last game Tierney played was for Scotland in Euros. Tierney at the moment is at Arsenal. He was yesterday in the stands with Odegaard. There was a cutscene from the cameraman during yesterday's game. He was in the stands with Odegaard just sitting there. He's not loaned out. He's still at the club. He's at our club. He's not loaned out anywhere. He's still at Arsenal. No Sociedad, no nothing. Anyways, the games where Vanjeri could start the season. Preston away, potentially. And that's about it. Dinamo Zagreb at home, January 22nd. And that is it. Genuinely, that is it. As weird, as wild, as mad as it sounds. Unless, due to injuries or something, or we are just dumb, Arteta has screwed everything up. We are maybe in, let's just say, March 15th, April 1st, April 5th, and we are in a top 4 race, and top 4 is guaranteed, but there's no chance we are winning the league. Then you can maybe start Vanjeri in these games and give him game experience for next season. There could be that argument to be made, if that happens. Obviously, that's a very negative, very big if, but let's be real, with the injuries we are carrying at the moment, the way we are playing, and if you all put that together, there is a possibility of that. You cannot ignore it, let's be real. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. But I think on that note, I guess I'm gonna end it here. It's been a nice having you guys. Big up BX Gunner, coach in the chat. You have been freaking fantastic. If you're new around here, of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, comment, everything, do all those good things, trying to get 300 subscribers by the end of the year. You have been freaking fantastic. Stay safe, take care. See you all tomorrow. See you all tomorrow. Starting lineup versus Liverpool. We gonna do a preview on Saturday. I think when Mikel Arteta does the pre-game interview on Saturday, we're gonna do also the starting 11 on Saturday, one day before the game. We're gonna do a preview and everything then, and then we're gonna talk about it, because by then we will know what's wrong with Calafiori, if Saka can play, because there are rumors and certain reports coming out that Saka could be available for the game and stuff like that. So need a bit more information in that regard. But at the moment, let's be real, there's a massive injury crisis at Arsenal, and especially defensively, because at the moment it looks like we might be forced to play Kivior or Zinchenko at left back against Mohamed Salah. So that is looking very great. But anyways, guys, as I said, I'm ending this here. If you're new around here, don't forget to smash thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell. Take care, big up everyone, big up coach, big up BX Gunner. You have been fan freaking fantastic. See you all tomorrow.